ต้นฉบับคลิปมาจากปี3
In this video, I built a massive frozen tower to house the snow guard in the tundra of 22, our custom LEGO city project populated with every Series 22 seaman. I had to demolish so many of my old mocks to build this thing, so I really hope it was worth it. Let's find out. This figure is easily my second favorite of the series, maybe even my favorite. It's a tough one between these two. It's really pop against his pristine white garments. I love how his fluffy-looking hat and scarf almost mold together here, and his angular mustache reminds me of the walrus from Club Penguin Card Jitsu Ice, or the walrus from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Is he secretly a walrus? The husky's pretty neat too. We got a very similar looking one in the medieval blacksmith set, but this one's icy blue eyes really make it stand out. I think I'll call him King. Every king must have his castle, and I don't really have any direct sources of inspiration for this one, other than the fact that I want to make some castle and or tower thing that fits this guy's style. I would love it if part of it could sort of branch over the railroad tracks here, creating a small sliver of a tunnel, but I'm not sure that's realistic. Maybe I should try that part first, and if it doesn't work out, we can always change gears. See, I've learned my lesson. And speaking of the mushroom stem, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make this tower look different. It pretty much has to be mostly white due to parts constraints, but it needs some shade of blue or something as an accent color. For that, some sacrifices need to be made. This old stop-motion set was already kind of in shambles already. There's plenty of great pieces here, plus these two are like canonically the same person. This one, however, will be tougher to say goodbye to, or at least the roof. Yeah, it'll be a sad day when I have to bulldoze the rest of this. With the scavenging all done, for now, let's begin with a small section of fortress on this side of the tracks. Just a simple little sentry post for Frosty and his assistants to keep a watchful eye over the city. Plenty of snot techniques were used to give some sort of details on the walls, and unfortunately, I scavenged another dear old friend of mine to make the curvature of the top bit flush like this. But I think it was definitely worth it. Maybe. This randomness up here in the ramparts was entirely due to lack of dark blue G-slopes, but I think it actually looks better this way. Top it all off with this prestigious flag, and that concludes the shorter of the two towers. Yeah, we have our work cut out for us. No interiors on this one, the windows are blacked out because the way to get up here will actually be over the train tracks. Or hopefully. Still not exactly sure how that's gonna work since this is on a diagonal, but we'll quite literally cross that bridge when we get to it. First, I want to build the base of the second and larger tower so we can actually support this potential archway. I'd like to use this dark orange color as a foundation, like in the first tower and in my Spider-Man doctor's office mock. Thank you for the 100,000 views, and thank you for the pieces. Hey there, buddy. The odd shape of the remaining baseplate area gave me the idea to go nuts with the shape on this thing. Definitely won't regret that later. Something I actually don't regret is moving the entire Tundra baseplate over to my studio area where my horde of parts was at. My knees were already getting sore crouching over this short table here. Up here, we can fill in the blue carpet, add a roaring fireplace, and build up the walls, including windows and an igloo-style entrance. Not sure if I love that it's always an open door, but we'll deal with it for now. Anyways, here's a plush red couch where the guy and his dog can cuddle up in front of the fire, shielded from the +3 sub-zero temperatures outside. That's really sweet. I'll also add a couple of shelves to display a pair of the Snow Guardian snowshoes, this memorial to his long-lost brother, a mug of steaming hot cocoa, and that'll be it for the main interior area. Due to stability concerns, I've decided now that the second tower won't have an interior either. We don't want this entire thing crashing down and decimating the whole city. But I want at least some suggestion of a ladder leading up to the top. With a bit more work on the walls, we can design the roof, finish the chimney, struggle hard with this frosted tunnel archway. I love how it looks now, but it took a while to get it right. Install a giant snowball catapult. From here, it's up, and away with the second tower. After I clean up my work area, it's a bit of a mess. But this first chunk of the tower was even more of a mess. It's just so clumpy. Why did I make the first floor such a weird shape? I have a specific sized footprint for the tower in mind, and this area is just too big. So I'll have to slope it inwards. And now it's too small. Oh, come on! We finally got there in the end. I'm still not completely happy with how it turned out. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but I think it's time to just move on from this. Onwards and upwards to the actual tower part. After building the first tower, I have a little more experience under my belt going into this one, but the struggle, as always, is just to find clever and unique ways to break up these boring white walls, like this little offshoot, a dark blue stripe, a place to prominently display the Guardian's shield, and I love these little statuettes made from a ton of these LEGO games microfigure moments, just permanently mooning everyone. Then there's these little windows here, just so much snot, and we finally reached the precipice of the tower. Before we finish this massive undertaking, you may have noticed a few little changes changes here and there that I've just not mentioned. I don't necessarily build things in order so well working on the main tower. I also redid the cabin portion's roof to make it more consistent with the sentry tower. Covered up the chimney with this very ornate chase cover. People just kept falling. Oh, she got
โอ้ไม่
involved.
นะ
It was a
ฉัน
whole
ตาตรง
and
ไป
I
ตา
cut
หาย
out a
ตร
black
ง
piece of
นี้
masking tape for a window here. Now that we're all caught up, I initially had the idea for these
แล้ว
two
ทำไมมึงไม่เอา
windscreens
สี
to act
ดำ
as a sort of pseudo spire on this tower. But one, it kind of blends in with the sky blue background, which, side note, we actually had to completely redo because this thing is just so darn tall. And two, they don't fit the theme that well. Like an actual spire would probably work better on top of this gazebo-like circle of pillars. I think you get the point. Now for the question that you've all been asking, what is a snow guardian even a guardian of? Why on earth did we destroy half of our Lego room to build this massive fortress when a tiny little igloo would have sufficed for a house? Well, let me introduce you to the Frost Sapphire. This thing is a frozen chunk of beach that tundra centuries
เออ
before
แล้ว
the
มัน
city
ตก
was
มาเมื่อ
even found.
20 ล้าน
The
ปี
frigid climate has
ก่อนที่
kept it
พ่อ
so
แม่ย่าตายาย
untapped energy. Modern society would not be able to handle the repercussions of harnessing the Frost Sapphire's power, so this guy was chosen at a very young age to be the protector of the sacred gem. We'll keep it up here at the very top of this impenetrable tower. Like, literally, there's no way up here. Inside of a protective glass dome. With that, this gargantuan project is finally complete after hours and hours of hard work. It turned out way taller than I ever could have imagined. About 58 bricks tall, towering over this other castle mock we have. But I think the result was well worth the blood, sweat, and tears I poured into this thing. Mostly tears. Mostly about the toilet. Okay, you know what? I need to let it go. Now we get to install this behemoth into 22. It was a little iffy transferring the baseplate over. It's actually really heavy. But once it and the train track were back in place, the train just barely fits through this tunnel. Maybe we should have done a better job of measuring it out, but that was awesome. Next, we can fill in what little space is left with details like piles of snow and so we can just roll territory here. A few spruce trees, this sweet-looking dog sled, some blue-fitted boobies, basically this classic penguin design recolored to fit the theme, and finally, if you want to build a snowman. With all that done, this whole thing is just so cool. Like, for the first time in forever, that pun is actually not intended. Just look at this build. This city, all of it is really shaping up, and I'm incredibly excited for when this project will be 100% complete. Join us next week for the extra spicy 100th video on this channel, but until then, thank you so much for watching, and please pay your respects in the comments for all